I'm Steve Wiggins, and this is the Groundworks Ministries podcast. Now, today we're reading from the book of Ezekiel, chapter 43. Let's focus on verses 1 through 4. After this, he brought me to the gate facing east, and there I saw the glory of the God of Israel approaching from the east. And his voice was like the sound of rushing water, and the earth shone with all his glory. The vision seemed like the vision I had seen when I came to destroy the city. Also the visions were like the vision I had seen by the Kebar River, and I fell on my face. The Lord's glory entered the house through the gate facing east. Now, one of the saddest moments in Israel's history occurred when the Ark of the Covenant was taken into Philistine hands, and Israel was left deprived of the symbol of God's help. And when Eli, the priest, heard of the consequential death of his two sons, he fell backward, and he broke his neck. In the shock of all the events, his daughter-in-law gave premature birth, dying in the process. But before she died, she gasped out that the child should be called Ichabod. What a horrible name, meaning the glory has departed. Now, Israel's condition in Ezekiel 43 was very similar to that low point. The collapse of Jerusalem and the destruction of Solomon's temple symbolized the idea that God had departed from his holy city. Of course, we know God never truly leaves. Ezekiel had been taken to Jerusalem in a vision in chapter 10 there to see God's departure. Almost 20 years had passed since that awful day. Nothing could be worse than that. If the description of the new temple in Ezekiel's vision is to hold any significance other than for architects, the essential nature of the new temple's glory has to be underlined. And this involves the return of God to dwell in his temple again. And that's what these verses now describe. Ezekiel is brought to the east gate of the temple complex, and this gate leads directly to the temple area. It was from this gate that God's glory departed in chapter 10. And in chapter 43, we have the reverse of chapter 10. God is going to return. He's coming back through the same gate by which he left. So what Ezekiel sees, he tells us. It is a reminder of the glory of God that he first encountered in the opening chapters, a vision of the glory in chapter 1, and a vision of God coming to destroy the city in chapter 9. Ezekiel, for the third time in his book, has come face to face with the living God in a vision. And if sin had driven the Lord from his temple, well, then his people's pursuit of holiness would keep him there. It is a holiness which is unobtainable by men within the confines of our sinful flesh. But that is the power of the good news of the gospel. Jesus has accomplished what we could not. He paid a debt that we couldn't pay. He paid a debt that he did not owe. All because he loves us, and his desire is to make us whole and holy so that we could live with him forever and ever. I'm Steve Wiggins, and this is the Groundworks Ministries podcast. Now, Groundworks Ministries operates entirely through financial donations from faithful people like you. And yes, we need your monthly support. Donating is secure and it's easy at our website, groundworksministries.com. You know, another way to help is to tell people about Groundworks Ministries. You can share these podcasts with friends and family and on your social media. Of course, you can always direct folks to our website, groundworksministries.com.